Third and final step for pillar one is we're going to talk about time, using your time wisely. Okay, this is going to come down to distractions. Our phones are our number one distraction. Everyone knows it. We all do it. Social media, scrolling the interwebs for hours, minutes, whatever it is. Distractions are your number one enemy. There's so many ways that we can eliminate distractions. It's going to take a lot of mental work to get rid of your distractions. There's do not disturb mode on your phones. You can go into focus mode on your phones. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that. I'll leave it into your hands on what you would do and what you don't want to do as far as eliminating distractions. But I'm telling you right now, your number one distraction is your phone. Put it down. If you go into your phone, you need to maybe put a sticky note next to where your phone sits on your toolbox. Stay off your phone. If you need a mental reminder, please do that because it works. If you always have that sticky note next to you, you're going to see it every time. So if you're not using your phone for work, I use my phone for video MPIs. And yes, sometimes I get stuck scrolling too. It's not the end of the world. It's just about eliminating that overall time on our phones. Second, when you're coming to work, I always show up to work a little bit early. I want to get ready for the day. If I have a coffee, if I have breakfast, that's all done before I start the day, before the day starts. It's like the official time to work. If you're not coming in early, that's fine. There's no problems with that. But if the doors open at 7, be ready to go by 6:50. You don't want to be eating breakfast, drinking coffee, like if the ticket's ready to be worked on and you're still eating breakfast, somebody who's ready is going to get that ticket. Somebody else besides you. Showing in early, a lot of people in the technician world don't show up early. So the earlier you're showing up, the better opportunities you have to get a better ticket, to get the first ticket, to get a ticket in general. So show up a little bit early, get ready to go by the time the doors open. Be there first. Some shops will hand out tickets to people first if you're on central dispatching system. So if you're there first, you're going to have a better opportunity to be more successful. Lunchtime. Not going to love to hear it, but do you really need to take an hour for lunch? I know you get an hour for lunch, but when it comes to efficiency, for me, if I go out and I sit down for lunch, I get lethargic. I get complacent. I sit down, I let that food digest, I get back to work, and I'm like, I don't really want to do anything. I don't want to work. I don't want to do this. And you get into like this lethargic headspace. I'm not going to tell you not to take your lunch because everyone needs to take their lunch. What I do is bring my lunch to work. If I'm eating lunch in the break room, I'm heating my lunch up, I'm sitting down, I'm eating my lunch maybe 10 minutes, and then I'm back to work. It doesn't work for everybody. It works for me as long as you're not spending a bunch of time just sitting around. Like if you're going out to lunch, go out to lunch, come right back, get back to work. Spending that extra time is just going to slow your day down. So do as much as possible to focus on eliminating downtime, especially around your lunch hour. If you go to lunch early, it's going to affect the whole second half of your day. So if I had to give one piece of advice, it would be eat your lunch and get back to work. If you're worried about I'm spending that's my time, yes, you're right. But you maybe use that time at the end of the day. Like if you want to leave early, you've got all your work done, lower your lunchtime, maybe leave 30 minutes early at the end of the day, or don't. Just what works for me is short lunch times. Otherwise, I'm slow, I'm complacent. At the end of the day, we want to get you to leave on time. Absolutely, that's the end goal here. But sometimes, like I said, you're going to have to put in the extra time. You're going to have to go the extra mile, and you're going to have to help out sometimes, even when you don't want to. We all know those waiters come in at the end of the day, and everyone's like, well, I'm just going to go home. That's bad planning by the ASN. That's bad planning by this person and that person. And I get it. I don't want to do it either. And honestly, if the ticket's coming in after 5, which is the time that we're not accepting any new waiters, I'm definitely going to be like, hey, can we get this customer in a loaner? Can they come back? Can we plan around this? I 100% want you to do that. But in certain circumstances, cars are coming in at 4:30. Why are you shutting your queue down? Why are you like, well, I'll leave in an hour. It doesn't make sense for me to grab this ticket. Grab it. If it's a waiter, you got to do everything in your power to get that customer out of the car, to leave the car, sell something. Hopefully there's a parts on order, whatever there is. I don't want you to stay till 7. I want you to get that customer in a loaner, get that customer to leave the car so you can make those upsells so you can work on that work tomorrow. But sometimes you need to do it. You need to show people in your shop, hey, Curtis is willing to go and stay a little bit late. Even if you don't want to, show that you're ready because people are going to see that you put in the extra time and they're going to want to bring their tickets to you. They want you to work on their cars. They're going to want you to work on everything. If you're able to go the extra mile, people see that. They may not talk about it. They may not recognize for you, but people see it. So be willing to come in early, work on your lunchtime, and be willing to stay late. Don't want you to put in the extra time. That's the goal here. Make more hours, work less hours. But you're going to have to put in the extra work for people to realize that you're willing to put in the extra work.